The screech of tires pierced the night as I slammed on the brakes, my world exploding in a blur of metal and pain. Blood pooled around my shattered leg, but all I could think about was him, Ethan, standing frozen on the sidewalk, safe because I'd swerved to avoid the drunk driver barreling toward us. In that split second, 3 years of chasing him flashed before my eyes, and I knew this was the end of my desperate pursuit. My name is Jordan Hayes, and I'd been in love with Ethan Carter since our freshman year at NYU. He was the golden boy of the theater departmental, with tousled dark hair, piercing blue eyes, and a laugh that could light up the dimmest audition room. I was the quiet tech guy, always behind the scenes, rigging lights and sound for his starring roles. It started innocently enough, a shared coffee after late-night rehearsals, my heart racing as he flashed that effortless smile. But soon, it became an obsession. I'd drop everything for him, skipping classes to help him memorize lines, staying up all night editing his demo reels, even lying to my friends about why I was always unavailable. Ethan knew how I felt. I'd confessed one rainy afternoon in Central Park, my voice trembling as I poured out my soul. He didn't reject me outright. Instead, he strung me along with ambiguous gestures, a hand on my shoulder that lingered too long, late-night texts that hinted at more. "You're my rock, Jordan," he'd say. But then he'd disappear into the arms of some fleeting hookup from a party. I convinced myself it was progress, that one day he'd see me as more than a convenient friend. 3 years of this emotional roller coaster left me hollow. But I kept chasing, believing love meant endurance. Our friendship deepened amid the chaos of New York life. We shared an apartment in Brooklyn after graduation, a cramped 2-bedroom where the walls were thin and secrets were hard to keep. I'd hear him come home late, sometimes with company, and I'd lie awake, jealousy gnawing at my insides. Yet, in the mornings, we'd cook breakfast together, laughing over burnt toast and bad auditions. Those moments fueled my hope. I took odd jobs pretending freelance sound designer support us while he chased Broadway dreams. He landed small roles, and I'd be there opening night, flowers in hand, my heart swelling with pride. But the cracks showed. Ethan's ambition consumed him, and I became his emotional crutch. When he bombed an audition, I'd console him for hours. When he partied too hard, I'd drag him home. One night, after a particularly brutal rejection, he kissed me drunk. Impulsive, but it ignited everything. We tumbled into bed, a whirlwind of passion that left me breathless. The next morning, he acted like it never happened. "We're just friends, right? Don't make it weird." His words stabbed deeper than any knife. Still, I stayed, chasing the ghost of that night. The accident changed everything. It was a crisp autumn evening. We'd been celebrating his callback for a major off-Broadway show. Walking back from the bar, arguing playfully about his typecast roles, a car veered out of control. Instinct took over. I shoved Ethan aside and took the hit. Waking up in the hospital, the doctor's voice echoed, "Amputation below the knee." "I'm sorry." Ethan was there, guilt etched on his face, holding my hand. "You saved my life," he whispered. For a fleeting moment, I thought this would be our turning point. Recovery was hell. Physical therapy in a sterile Manhattan clinic. Learning to walk with a prosthetic while Ethan hovered awkwardly. He helped at first cooking meals, driving me to appointments, but soon, his auditions pulled him away. I'd sit alone in our apartment, staring at the stump where my leg used to be. wondering if it was worth it. Friends urged me to leave. He's using you. Jordan. But love blinded me. I adapted. Got a job as a sound engineer for podcasts. Determined to rebuild. Ethan's career took off. He landed the role. Reviews praising his charisma. Parties followed. And I tagged along on crutches, smiling through the pain. One night, at a cast party in Soho, I overheard him flirting with a producer, dismissing me as just my roommate who's been through a rough patch. It shattered me. That was the night I decided enough was enough. 3 years of chasing. A lost leg. And for what? A one-sided love that left me broken. Packing my bags quietly while he was out, I left a note. I can't chase you anymore. Take care. I moved to a small studio in Queens. Cutting ties. No more texts. No more calls. It was liberating and agonizing. Therapy helped both physical and mental. I joined a support group for amputees. Met people who understood loss without judgment. Slowly, I rebuilt my life. Even started dating casually, though no one compared to him. Months passed without a word from Ethan, and I convinced myself he didn't care. But then the messages started, frantic texts at odd hours. Where are you? We need to talk. I ignored them. He showed up at my old job, disheveled, demanding answers from coworkers. Rumors spread through our mutual friends. Ethan was unraveling. His performances suffered. He forgot lines. Snapped at directors. One friend confided, "He's a mess without you. Jordan. He's losing it." I focused on healing. Enrolled in a creative writing course at a community college, channeling my pain into stories. My prosthetic became a symbol of strength, not loss. I volunteered at an LGBT center in Manhattan, helping queer youth navigate coming out and self-acceptance. It gave me purpose, reminding me that love shouldn't demand sacrifice without reciprocity. Ethan's descent was swift. Social media posts showed him partying harder, eyes hollow in selfies. He lost the role, blamed it on personal issues. Then came the voicemail that cracked my resolve. "Jordan, I can't do this without you. Please." His voice broke, raw with desperation. Curiosity and lingering feelings drove me to meet him at our old spot in Central Park. He looked wrecked, unkempt beard, dark circles under those blue eyes. "Why did you leave?" he demanded, voice trembling. I told him everything, the years of unrequited love, the accident as the final straw. "I gave you my heart and a leg. Ethan, you gave me nothing." Tears streamed down his face. For the first time, he confessed, "I was scared. Of us. Of what it meant. I pushed you away because I didn't know how to love you back." We talked for hours, unpacking the mess. He admitted using me as a safety net while chasing fame, blind to my devotion. The accident haunted him. Guilt consumed him. "Losing you made me realize you're everything," he said. Skeptical, I walked away. But he persisted, showing up at my door with coffee, attending my therapy sessions uninvited, even quitting acting to sort his life. It wasn't easy. Trust rebuilt slowly. We started over, dates in quiet cafes, walks where he held my hand, acknowledging my prosthetic without pity. He joined the LGBT Center with me, advocating for mental health in queer communities. Our first real kiss, sober and intentional, felt like coming home. But doubts lingered. One night, during a heated argument about his past flings. He broke down completely. I thought I could live without you. But I can't. You're my anchor. Seeing him vulnerable, I realized love isn't about chasing, it's about mutual vulnerability. We sought couples therapy, learning to communicate. Ethan's madness was an exaggeration. Friends described manic episodes. Sleepless nights obsessing over my absence. It scared him into change. He pursued therapy solo, addressing his fears of commitment rooted in a conservative upbringing. Coming out publicly as bisexual, he dedicated his return to acting to queer stories. Our relationship blossomed amid New York's vibrancy. Picnics in Prospect Park, where he'd trace my scars tenderly. Intimacy deepened, no longer impulsive but built on trust. I wrote a play about our journey, anonymized, and he starred in a tour catharsis on stage. Yet, challenges arose. My insecurity about my body flared during vulnerable moments. Ethan reassured me, "Your strength is what I love most." We traveled to San Francisco for Pride, marching hand in hand, celebrating resilience. As winter blanketed the city, Ethan proposed on the Brooklyn Bridge, simple, heartfelt. I was lost without you. Marry me. Tears froze on my cheeks as I said yes. Our wedding in a cozy Manhattan venue symbolized renewal, friends toasting to second chances. Looking back, my chase taught me self-worth. Losing a leg paled compared to losing myself in unrequited love. Ethan's breakdown forced him to confront his flaws, emerging kinder, more empathetic. Together, we volunteered more, starting a foundation for queer amputees, blending our experiences to help others. Life wasn't perfect. Ethan's career rebounded with meaningful roles. Mine flourished in writing. We argued, made up, grew. But the core remained, love as partnership, not pursuit. One evening, watching the sunset from our new home in Harlem, Ethan whispered, "Thank you for leaving. It saved us." I smiled, leg prosthetic propped up, heart full. In the end, our story wasn't about loss, but redemption, proving that true love blooms from mutual healing, not one-sided sacrifice. The value hit home during a talk at the LGBT Center. A young man shared his story of chasing a crush, echoing mine. Don't lose yourself, I advised. Real love meets you halfway. Ethan nodded, squeezing my hand. Our journey inspired hope, showing that even from despair, profound connections rise. Years later, with adopted kids filling our home, I reflected on that fateful night. The accident stole a limb but gifted clarity. Ethan's madness was his awakening. We built a life of quiet, joyous family dinners, weekend hikes where my prosthetic conquered trails. Critics might call it dramatic, but in America's melting pot, our BL tale resonated. It highlighted queer struggles, societal pressures, internal fears, the courage to love authentically. We advocated for accessibility in theater, ensuring stories like ours reached broader audiences. As I penned my memoir, Ethan read drafts, tears in his eyes. We almost lost this, but we didn't. Our bond, forged in fire, stood unbreakable. The meaningful end. Not a fairy tale wedding, but daily choices to choose each other. In a world quick to discard the broken, we proved healing comes from within and together. Love isn't chasing shadows, it's standing in the light. Scars and all.